We are live.
Hello, and welcome everyone to Screams of the Sun, the Changing Breeds Chronicle that we are running here on Final Show Films. I am Julia of the Zodiac System, and I will be your GM for the evening. I am joined by a wonderful cast of role players. They let me mentally and emotionally abuse them at least once a week, and we decided to film it for you all to enjoy. We're going to begin our introductions today with 2 punches on their card away from a new character, Drevian.
I'm Drevian. I am playing Connor McLaughlin, a Coelacanth Bastet.
Freshly arrived from Mount Olympus, William Rashani.
Olympus is too haughty. I'd rather be down in Hades where everyone is chill.
Yes. Sorry.
Or Valhalla where I can have more fun. But I am William Orshani, and I am playing Callisto Osborne, the Ahmed Gural Uzmati of the Mountain Guardians, who's about to fuck up this weird-looking bird.
Does this outfit look better with my sword or my axe, Jeremy?
I'm Jeremy. I am playing who the fuck am I playing? Chris Hilarious, who's a Hamid Nuisha.
And neighborhood otter expert, Katie.
Hi, I am Katie. I'm playing Carrie Nichols, who is a Hamid Korax, Hermetic Order of Swift Light.
Happy Greed Month. We're still in Gay Greed Month. And as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights. And the following are some good news stories that I wanted to share from the last week to hopefully bring a smile to your guys' faces. Once locally extinct, the river otter is flourishing again in New Mexico. Conservationists in New Mexico are celebrating the state's expanding population of wild river otters, as their numbers have tripled in the last 14 years.
Yay! Go Otters.
Archaeologists have uncovered a gateway to an ancient Greek temple alongside the Nile. It was found at the Athribis site, dating to the Ptolemy dynasty, when Egypt was ruled by the descendants of one Alexander of Macedon's generals, where excavations are currently in their 21st year.
Good old Alexander, the kind of all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he wasn't great or anything.
The incredibly average.
A new solution to metastatic ovarian cancer, based on an approach from over 100 years ago, is shrinking tumors. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, New York surgeon William B. Coley achieved a cure rate greater than 10% for some cancers by injecting patients with dead pathogens. Scientists later reasoned that this anti-cancer effect was the result of the immune system's activation of myeloid cells, the plentiful cells in the peritoneal cavity, that when activated can mount a cancer-killing response. So that's like 3 weeks in a row we've had good news about cancer research, which is fantastic to see. So those are just a few spots of brightness in a bleak and grim world. And now to the world of darkness.
Yay!
Previously, our menagerie made the decision to dig further into the materials found at Jared Walker's home. Ringtail discovered that there seems to be a second set of writing within the Journal of the Whippoorwill, while Connor did some work on Jared's computer, and through a series of photos, the groups were able to put together a timeline and potential contacts that knew Jared in his last days before allegedly becoming Dmitry Karlov. Carrie and Crystal made their way to the sept of the Towering Giants and asked passage on their moon bridge, and to their surprise, they were granted access. From there, they walked through the Umbra to meet with Katarina in the Sept of the Deep Shadows in Seattle. Meanwhile, Connor and Callisto drove to the Sept of the Pointing Stars in Lower Cali, where they met Drinks the River, the Sept leader in Judge's Reign, a theurge and close friend of Jared, to learn a bit more of Jared's mental state over the last couple of months. Upon their exit from the Sept, Connor and Callisto were greeted by a buzzard, who had dug its claws into the hood of Callisto's truck as she fired a crossbow at the creature. I am going to need an attack roll from Callisto, please.
I would like to spend a willpower since we haven't really been doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Crossbow, heavy. 2 successes.
2 successes. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. Just making sure I wasn't taking a defensive action or anything.
No, honestly, it did not expect you to retaliate immediately.
I have 7 damage.
All right. So we're just gonna.
Didn't you spend a willpower?
Oh yeah, that's 3
Yeah.
successes. Let me roll one more die.
Yeah.
8 damage.
All right.
I want to know the hit points on this thing.
I mean, the real question is how much of that can it soak?
I have to take a look at a thing real quick. The Werewolf Core book is not going to tell me anything about the Corax besides a tiny blurb.
No, you're gonna need the Changing Breeds book for.
Oh yeah, I got it. Okay. No increases to stamina in this form. Good to know. Okay. I'll go down here to the damage tracker. And that is lethal, correct?
Yes, crossbow is lethal.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know there was a soak button. Good to know.
Yeah, there is a soak roll button.
Okay. Do-do-do. I'm now going to need the two of you to roll initiative, please.
All right. $17. Callisto wants this thing dead. You're muted, Drevian.
No, I'm just talking very quietly.
Uh,
There's the initiative button.
Okay. Callisto, you're up first.
how hurt does this thing look?
Oh, that arrow has lodged itself straight about 4 inches above where you think the heart might be.
Yeah.
And there is a torrent of blood pouring
Yeah,
from it. They obviously look like they have tried to soak. Some of it has already started to creep back into the wound. But yeah, it definitely looks like you did a number on it.
Yeah, so in a like clean motion of fire crossbow, drop, let it hang by the sling, grab axe off back, spin, strike with axe.
Roll it.
Like difficulty with the great axe is 7. 3 successes.
Okay, and we are going to really quick.
I do not have enough dots in melee to have a specialization in my axe.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It is going to try and
Fail to dodge.
fail to dodge. Yeah, so go ahead and roll that beautiful beam footage for us.
I have 4 more damage.
So in well, let's see how much I can soak before you. Okay.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, -5 is you're about to go down
Yeah.
on wound penalties.
So as this thing rears back on its haunches and throws its wings out in an attempt to dodge or get out of the way of any sort, you just take a clean swing and cut the head off. It hits the ground and begins writhing as blackened blood begins to pour out of it. A foul odor coming from the body as it just sort of dissolves into a ton of earthworms, leaving the skeleton of a bird.
Fucked with the wrong truck, asshole.
You got about 6 new holes in your hood.
Oh, look, better cooling.
She sort of like looks over her shoulder, knowing that it's even odds whether or not the Cairn had enough people and enough organization to send someone to follow her out to make sure she left, and she's just gonna like put fingers to her lips and whistle.
About 10 seconds, 3 wolves come bounding out of the forest straight to you. And one of them leans up into the form of Judge's Reign. What's going on?
She'll point to the rapidly decaying pile of maggots and bird skeleton and say, tell Drinks the Rivers that my concerns were more founded than I thought.
Oh, that's so many levels of not good. That's so many levels of not good. What the
That used to be a buzzard.
And that is one of yours, I take it.
What? I did not understand the sentence that she was saying.
She's meaning it's one of the Farah.
Think a black spiral dancer, but a Korax.
Oof. That's fucking heavy. Okay.
Yeah, you're not the only ones that gotta deal with that shit.
Okay. Any reason it was on your truck?
Probably scouting, because that's what they do for the worm, like the Korax do for us.
I'm not even going to pretend to know the ins and outs of the other shifters.
Do you not know that Korax are the scouts and messengers of all of the Farah, including the Guru?
I know bits and pieces about everybody, but I don't have an in-depth knowledge of any of the changing breeds.
Education's going down the wayside.
Excuse me?
Look, Doc taught me this stuff, and I only had a year of education.
Have a good night, Callisto.
Anyway, tell Drinks the Rivers my concerns were more founded than I thought.
I'll pass along the message. And she turns and snaps, and the other two wolves turn and dash off into the woods.
What is Gaia coming to these days? All right.
As the two of you begin driving back, I assume is the next
Yeah.
stop, right?
While she drives back, she's gonna call Doc. She's just gonna put the phone on her dash and put it on speaker and call Doc.
Okay.
Oh, who?
Her mentor.
Okay.
It rings twice, and then, hello, this is Doc.
Good to hear from you, Buddha-Jean.
Callisto. Good to hear from you. How are things going?
Well, I just got confronted by a buzzard on my truck.
I would say then somebody's been telling to our not so tied together compatriot.
Yeah, and I'm getting real curious. I didn't think there were that many around here.
I didn't either. How many Koraks are in? Yeah, I never actually asked One Wing how many Koraks are in the area.
Well, I think I've got a majority in my menagerie at 2.
I would say definitely. The only two that I know of outside, I mean, I know of 4 in the city, and that's One Wing, Magpie, and your 2.
I don't know where this one came from. I frankly didn't take time to ask it questions. It was standing on my roof and digging talons into my hood.
I remember how you liked that truck. Well, I mean, it would have been great to get to talk to it, but you and I both know you wouldn't have gotten any straight answers.
No. Also, it flies. It's going to be real hard to take it in.
Yeah. We were given some great gifts, but those with flight were definitely treated a little nicer.
Yeah, it was either kill it or let it get away. So, I opted for the first one.
How are you getting along with all of them? I've been anxious and have honestly really wanted to talk to you about this, but I've been trying to give you all space because you're all figuring it out.
Well, she says as she looks over at Connor in the car, I think I'm doing all right with most of them.
Okay. Let me know if the Nuisha gives you any trouble.
I mean, no more than you expect from a new Isha.
Sometimes jokes go too far.
And
Just-
sometimes they get so caught up in the idea that they're supposed to be the one teaching lessons that they forget they should be learning too.
Being a teacher does not exclusively ban one from being a student. That is correct. I'd really like to discuss what you guys have found, but I don't know if Mother Webb will allow me to intervene in any way on this. So unfortunately, my expertise is off the table at time being until I can get confirmation from her that any of us are allowed to step in and help.
At a certain point, I feel like some of us are going to be seeking help, no matter what Madam Webb feels about it. But if you feel like coming by for a conversation or to get any updates, you know where my cabin's at.
All I did was stop by to say hello and have coffee with a friend. Doesn't matter that I also happened to be getting information on the ongoing investigation.
Exactly. But things are looking deeper than we first thought. It's probably there's an underlying problem that I probably can't talk about over an open phone line.
Fair enough. I'll stop by tomorrow.
All right. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Looking forward to seeing you again. Take care, stay safe. Mother Bear, watch over you.
Bye, Doc.
Bye, Connor. Callisto. Click.
Like I said.
Meanwhile,
He just
At the
extends
septi-
a hand to fist bump Connor.
Connor returns it.
at the Sept of Deep Shadow. It's been about 45 minutes of the two of you sitting under umbrellas waiting for Katerina to return. And finally, you hear calls around camp that patrol's coming back in.
Cool.
All right.
Five
Roll
wolves.
another cigarette and wait.
5 wolves pour into the clearing. 4 of them charging at full speed, 1 walking behind, just at a leisurely pace. The one walking behind has gray fur with patches of brown throughout it. And you see it walk towards the Sept leader. They sit on all fours and sort of stare at them for a while before doing that dog thing where they look behind them without turning their neck. Where they just flip their head 180 degrees to look.
Mm-hmm.
To look straight at the two of you.
Hi.
And then
Hello.
leans head up and then turns and begins walking towards the two of you.
Get up and just patiently wait.
No, Carrie is very aware of her movements, like no sudden movements, just
And
cool, calm, and collected.
the wolf leans forward and stands up as a woman, long brown hair, graying at the ends, darker olive complexion to her skin tone, bright green eyes. Oh, what can I do the two of you for?
You Katerina?
I sure am. Somebody told me you're looking for me.
Yep. We need to talk, and you might want to have this conversation in a less public place.
We can do that. My place isn't too far.
Awesome. I'm Crystal.
I'm Carrie.
That's Carrie. Not related.
Katerina?
Also not related.
Nice to meet you.
No. Nice
At
to
least
meet
that
the
I
two of you as
know
well.
of.
That I know of, no. She will lead you out of the national park
Mm-hmm.
and take you to a small beat up black Dodge truck that looks like it has seen its heydays and should have been on its last leg about 20 years ago.
Right.
The car held together by duct tape and hope. and she opens the back, lets the two of you in. It's about a 10-minute drive to her place. Small little apartment, which is, when you walk in, has a couch, a TV, a dining room setup, and no decorations, nothing. She tosses her purse onto a small shoe rack and kicks off her boots.
Fancy.
It's not much. Make yourselves at home.
Thank
It's
you.
fine. Thank you. So we need to talk to you about we are from Sacramento.
A long way from home.
Yes, we are. We need to talk to you. Hold on. Oh, okay. We need to talk to you about Jared Walker.
That's a name I haven't heard in a
Empathy
minute.
check.
Yeah. Difficulty. Give me, what's an empathy difficulty 7? You don't know this person?
Can I roll it too?
Yeah, both of you can.
Difficulty 7.
Mhm.
Three.
So very first thing, obviously a reaction, and it is, you would probably, it's negative. But there was a flash of hurt before there was a flash of anger. So that's what you get from that.
Okay.
Haven't talked to him in a bit. What kind of nasty trouble
Well,
has he gotten himself into?
You're in good company. A lot of people haven't talked to him in a bit.
He's missing?
Let's go with that for now. It's complex. But before we get into where we're at now, I would like to know where we've been. And it'll help us a lot in dealing with a situation.
We're trying to piece together a timeline.
Yes, we know that he came from obviously south, came up here for a bit, and then headed back down further south.
Yeah, he was here for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Let's start at the beginning. If obviously, if you don't mind, do you know why he came up here?
He came up here because he wasn't getting along with the Sept at home. And when he told me why, I can understand.
Okay, I need to remember, Jeremy needs to remember who got information from last week's game, because I don't remember if I know that Jeremy came to a conclusion. And I'm pretty sure
Callisto has
Shawnee
not
came to that
shared that yet
conclusion
because
at the
she's
same time.
yeah,
but
yeah. Callisto has that conclusion as well. She hasn't shared it with the rest of the menagerie
Okay,
yet because
okay.
she's not trying to interrupt their own
I did-
gathering.
For sure. I just didn't know when and where that information came about. So that's what I was came from you.
That was
Got it.
that was from
Eric,
Callisto's
was delivered
conversations
to you.
at the area. Yeah.
What do you mean? what was his issue with um towering giants?
Well, she'll stand up, walk to the other side of the room, pick up a whiskey bottle and a few glasses, walk back over, pull a chair over to the coffee table and sit in front of the two of you, set down 3 glasses and begin pouring drinks. How much do you guys know about Jared?
We are trying to learn more. How's that?
Jared let me in on a big secret about his past, which, granted, I wouldn't want to be broadcasting it around either. But
Okay.
about a year or two before he came here, he learned that he's related to somebody who did a lot of bad shit in their cairn.
Somebody that doesn't necessarily have a name.
Yeah,
That tracks. Excuse me. That tracks.
and Crystal dies.
Yeah. Awesome. So we know that story. We didn't know the connection.
He
Trying
didn't
for a
tell
fresh
me.
startup here then?
Yeah, he didn't tell me everything, but he did tell me you don't want to go flaunting your story and have the larger world know that you're related to a traitor of Gaia and all that she stands for.
Right.
Okay.
So that weighed on him heavy, especially since he suddenly learned at like 25 why his entire life he'd been hated by everybody around him.
Because of his relation?
Yeah.
Did he grow up in that sect?
Yeah, he grew up in that sect.
Any particular reason he shared with you that he chose this one?
It was on the same coast as his parents, but the furthest away he could get.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Was there any other than normal family matters? Was there any extraneous conflict with the sept here?
Yeah, what happened when he got here?
Well, it took
Because if he like if he went 2 states away and California being what it is, that's basically 3 states away. And then went back, there had to be a reason.
Well, when Jared got here, he was gung ho to, jump in and help, and he played good little soldier for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And about 2 or 3 months before he left here, he started kind of going off the deep end. I don't know how to explain it, but he started pushing for more dangerous missions. He started picking fights.
Did it just happen overnight, or
We went on a mission.
Was it gradual over time, or?
No, it was pretty rapid. He went from doing sort of stuff around his training level for the first few years he was here, and then, or at least until the 6 month, a couple months before he left. And
What was what was the catalyst that changed, do you think?
We went on a mission to take down a local agency that is attempting to repeal a lot of natural protection laws in the state of Washington. Which bad move, just bad move.
Generally speaking, yes.
And he had a run-in with we ran into a black spiral. And he never told me what happened or what was said, but he got into a conversation during the fight with that black spiral. And ever since, he changed. So I'm thinking whatever was said got to him and made him start seeking the worm.
Is that why he left this sept and went and returned to California?
Potentially, we don't have any proof 100% that he had turned to the Mad One, but
Did he just up and leave, or was it?
Did you know where he had left to?
no, this is the first I'd heard. He gave me an address so that I could write him, but he didn't tell me what sept. I had to figure that out on my own.
Once So, all right. I'm going to say this and it's going to sound like I'm being accusatory. I promise I'm not.
He has that effect on people.
Okay.
So, you there was a mission. This kinfolk somehow ended up face to face with a spiral. There was a conversation. After that, headed down, not a few months after that, headed down, was there, didn't tell you where. Mostly I'm just laying this out in my head.
No.
When you found out where he was, like when you figured out what sept he was, did you notify the sept?
No, because I hadn't seen any actual evidence. He had an attitude change, and that was it. All I saw was somebody who was self-destructing rather than somebody who was turning to the worm.
And sorry, being self-destructive wasn't something that you thought you should warn his new sept about?
Well, his attitude kind of changed about a week before he went down there. So I figured, because about a week before he left, he just stopped going on missions altogether, or he stopped being involved with anybody altogether. So I figured he'd let it go. Obviously, that was a mistake.
Get it. It happens. Yeah, I'm not trying to be.
No, I get it. And
this is new information that's coming into me. I am trying to process it. So.
And
okay.
Sometimes you don't understand the complexities of the situation you're in until you have to lay it out for someone else.
Of course.
Right. So he just up and left in the middle of the night, so to speak. There no warning.
Kind of. He talked to the sept leader. They arranged a transfer. About a week later, he walked through the moon bridge. And I wrote him. I tried to stay in contact.
Right.
But the letters haven't been returned. So until today, I had been doing my best not to think about my best friend so that I wouldn't just drive down to California and leave my sept behind.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Out of game to the storyteller. We found evidence that they had been communicating, right?
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
there was the letter with
Yeah.
the but yeah,
Yeah.
none of this is inaccurate with what we know.
Well, the statement that the letters weren't returned, they had had communication, like, with each other recently, since he had been back down there.
No,
Yeah.
you are correct. You are correct. So I will amend that statement. The letters were far and few between, and email was better, but those also stopped coming.
What kind of things was he talking about?
At the first part, it was getting settled in, and then talking about coming back up to go on trips, which I thought, was weird. Like you hadn't been down there for a month before you started complaining about how you'd like to go back, but
Mm-hmm.
and then he started getting, I wouldn't say defensive, but he definitely was being cagey a lot.
Seems like
And
just trying to pick a fight.
more like yes, but more in the way of I want to start a fight, so I will get this person to leave me alone because they won't talk to me because they're angry at me.
Got it.
If that makes sense, because I've done that.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And I recognize that tactic because I've used it before. It's not good, but I've used it before.
Right.
I just I didn't push because people in fragile states can't really be pushed too hard. And if he wasn't trying to get any help for what was going on, then you can't help somebody who doesn't want to help themselves.
Very true.
He should never have been involved in any way, shape, or form on that mission. He shouldn't have. He was our getaway
So
because
he
you're in
was
the middle of the city.
he
I
wasn't
was
even
gonna
supposed
say
to be there.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit surprised hearing about kinfolk on combat style missions.
It was solely because it was in the middle of the city and it's easier to get away in a car to draw attention than it is to be either the Krynos form or lupus form. I still think it was a bad decision, obviously.
In retrospect, I agree with you. Like, okay,
He wanted involved in things.
we all want things that are bad for us. That we shouldn't do.
And we've kept all kinfolk from any form of mission since he's left. We've honestly taken to not telling them the goings on.
Through totem phone, you just hear, they can be taught.
Which means
Yes, everybody heard it.
randomly the three other members of the menagerie are just like, the fuck?
Carrie just
With
looks
an undertow, with a definite thought version of vocal undertone of this fucking bitch.
Just driving on the drive back, and Connor's just like, "Oh look, the Nui's just trying to be the teacher again."
Like I said,
Carrie just, without turning her head, just like looks at Crystal, looks back forward,
So
turn her head or anything.
what I'm looking for at this point is anything that can speak to his mindset, anything that can speak to his motivations. Anything that what was how did he feel about his grandfather or great grandfather or whatever it is he who shall not be named.
He said that he wanted to move away from that legacy. He didn't. I mean, I guess it's not even a legacy. That black spot on his record, as it were. And he I honestly, I think that's why he pushed so hard to be included in things, is because he wanted to prove that he wasn't like his ancestor.
Was there anyone, was that just one of those personal missions, or was there anyone that was like copping onto the fact that he was a descendant of this ancestor? Or
I honestly have no idea how many people in the Sept knew.
that's why I'm curious about it, because if it was coming intrinsic, if it was intrinsic, I'm going to prove myself, or extrinsic.
As far as I'm aware, he wasn't told by anybody that that's a thing he had to do.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
You're his best friend. You would probably know better than anyone. What do you think bothered him? Did it come across like it was the reputational problem? It was how other people saw it that it was a problem, or the actions of the guy himself. What do you think was the actual where he actually had an issue?
I don't like to talk ill of my friends,
This could
but
help.
if I had to be completely honest, it felt more like he was upset at the reputation that was held by this ancestor, that um and how it reflected on him. And
But the actual thing
he
itself, not so
he,
much a concern.
he never told me what the actions were, so he never really denigrated them around me.
Fair.
So if there was disdain there, I'm not certain of it.
Judgment call. Purely hypothetically, if he was, how to put this? Nope, never mind. A pointless question. Um, do you know if there was anyone down there actually? Hold on just a second. I'm looking at my guess really quick. Um, do, 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 do. I think it's not that. It's not that. Which one is the one? Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. Never mind. Katarina, theoretically,
Good sentences never start that way. Go on.
if there was information, or let me put it this way, if there was a way that you could potentially help, but doing so would require you to keep things from yourself. How
She
would you
sits up a
feel
little
about
straighter.
that?
If this is going to affect my sept in any way, I can't keep that a secret. That's just not a thing I'm going to be capable of doing.
It won't affect yours, it will affect others.
And many on a much larger scale.
He stands up and walks over to a kitchen cabinet or kitchen drawer, slides it out, picks up a pocket knife, closes it, and walks back over. Flips the knife out, digs into a finger,
Mm-hmm.
makes a squeeze,
Okay.
offers a hand to shake.
All right.
You have my silence.
Here's the deal. Jared, Jared is no longer going by the name Jared. Jared is going by Dimitri. Jared is the head of a company called Endron. Endron is trying to dig up the thing that caused Jared's great grandfather to get excommunicated.
He told me he had his deed named removed from him. And I learned that he was no longer able to shapeshift after the spirit in their cairn decided that he was too dangerous.
That's he who shall not be named.
Yeah,
That's what she's talking about.
yeah.
No. Jeremy looked confused for a second, as if he thought you were talking about.
There was
Jared.
a brief moment, but as soon
Yeah,
as soon as the deed name removed or the spirit, I made the connection.
Yeah. I
Wait a
appreciate-
minute.
I appreciate the clarification for the record.
I'm sorry. Did Jared become a skinwalker and everybody was just okay with it? No. I got it.
Mm.
I have not put that. For the record, Crystal has not taken that possibility in recent times off the table for Jared.
Fair.
In fact, that possibility has increased in her mind if he was going out on combat missions and then was told not to anymore. I am developing a theory in my mind as to how they got him.
Well,
That involves playing on the chance to clear his family's good name. And then once you get in too deep, you know how that goes.
yeah.
I'm going to be perfectly honest here. I don't know that there is much hope at this point. But if there's any at all, we may need you at an appropriate time. Because we will need people who can potentially appeal to Jared.
Yeah. If you think my presence can help. Yeah.
We're
Jared
not there
was.
yet. Yeah. We're not there yet. We don't know that situation. I promise I will let you know once we know. The thing that I have to, the reason I'm asking you to stay quiet is because I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. I feel like I feel like Jared being of the tribe that Jared is, and everything else involved in this situation and potential threat, if they found out for a number of reasons, they, along with every other sept that Jared has been around that we are also trying to keep kind of on the down low about this, are going to rush into the situation and fuck it all up.
Oh yeah, 100%. If anybody from the Sept found out about this, they won his head.
Yep.
What you said, he was going by Dimitri. He's just going under a pseudonym and working for the Worm, or
We don't. All we know. What's Dimitri's last name?
Karloff.
Karloff, thank you. All we know is that he's going by Dmitri Karloff. Dmitri Karloff, and he was recently named the head of the Endron company. We don't.
Had a
Yeah.
whole reputation, a whole identity made for him in the last few months.
It's a complete makeover, as it were.
I mean,
What we don't know, we have strong suspicions that it is worm related.
Oh, it's worm related.
Oh,
But
again, we're trying to find the exact link, as it were.
Yep.
We're trying to figure out their game plan.
And we believe, and all the information you have said, strongly reinforces the notion that they are, like I said, trying to dig up that which is
That what should stay buried.
Tried to do, which involves I can't remember. Jeremy can't remember at the moment.
10 souls
but-
taken violently at location.
Well, yeah, but the end result of it,
Unmentioned Bane or
Hellbreaker.
yeah, and a Hellwalker. That's it.
Hellbreaker.
Hellbreaker.
Right,
Yeah.
the general, one of the generals of the Worm's armies.
Yeah. I Crystal is specifically just going to say an exceptionally powerful Bane, like the kind that's gonna make Nexus crawlers scurry away.
Okay. Do we know if they've figured out where it's buried?
Nope.
Do we? Okay.
Not yet, but
It's only a matter of time.
Pretty much.
pretty much. To thank you for you. The information you give us has been very enlightening. It's kind of confirmed some things and given new. If we can use you, we will let you know. And regardless, I will let you know the result of this.
If you have to put
yeah.
If you have to put Jared down, put Jared down.
Oh, I will if I have to. But if there's hope, well, I believe the children are our future.
Quit quoting song lyrics and be honest.
I am being honest.
Since when do you like kids?
You don't know me. I love kids.
Okay.
I go great with relish.
Goat is a very enjoyable meat.
Carrie is just going to take one of the whiskey glasses and just throw it back. She doesn't even know it's hers. She doesn't care. Just throw it back, slam it down, and just like do like.
Anyways, thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let me.
thank you.
Can we get a lift back to the because we
Yeah,
beamed here.
Yeah, we
Good.
need to beam ourselves back.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. She'll walk over and start putting her shoes on. Um, I wanted as much advance notice as you can give if you are going to go after Jared at any point soon.
We will. We'll keep you posted.
Thank you. Really.
Can I ask, in the interest of full disclosure, why you want as much advance notice as possible?
So I can be able to beg to use the moon bridge to get down there.
Fair enough.
You two, you're not. Yeah, you're not wolves.
No.
You smell different.
Uh-huh. I'll let you figure it out. Let's go.
Okay.
It's
You smell like wet dog, if I'm being honest.
Harry is just gonna crack up.
well, that's just because I love fucking Guru, but
You'll see her like pause for just a second and then just shake her head and start driving.
fair enough.
I'm gonna be a little bit less mysterious than a Nuisha. I'm a Korax.
I love that you gave both of you away in one sentence.
There is a not there is a slight edge to the smile.
That really wasn't my intention, but I'm not sorry about it. That was Katie. Okay.
Ah. Messenger and a trickster, of course. I'm going to assume with the severity of this is not a joke. And I'm not just being played here.
I wouldn't have come up here if it was a joke.
And that is completely fair.
We're
And I'll be honest, if it wasn't as serious as it was, I would be far less restrained in some of my responses tonight.
yeah, this is her being restrained.
Completely fair. I apologize for my misstep.
Relax, it's not just your
Not
misstep.
necessary.
Oh, it's necessary, but it's not just your misstep.
It seems like everybody's dropped the ball in him, doesn't it?
There is a systemic failure here. That speaks to a much bigger issue, and I will leave it at that, because if I go much further, I will start waving the gun around.
Well, I think the biggest lesson that I've learned from this is that in the great game of the triad, even the kinfolk aren't safe. From themselves, even.
I mean, the call usually does come from inside the house.
I am glad you are learning this. And I understand that this is something that is that would not have occurred to you, and I get that. The fact that it did not occur to anyone else,
Yeah.
that's what gets me angry. You didn't know because nobody ever knew to teach you that involvement because you know what? Fuck it. Nobody ever thought to teach you that involvement because to a lot of your people, and I'm not talking specifically about you. I am talking about a lot of your people. Those are breeding stock and bodies, and that's it. Those are things to throw on the ground on the barbed wire so you can walk over it in the war.
You're not wrong.
And I'm not saying that there are not failures among every breed about this kind of stuff. Certainly not certainly there's problems with that among my own people. Certainly we know from personal experience there are problems with that among some of the others. But
there's way less of you.
there is way less of us. There is not a system in place. There's not the potential for a system in place. And at the very least,
You treat your
my
kinfolk
people
like
may
people.
my people may lose track of their kinfolk or even their full bloods for long periods of time because we don't get along with each other very well, and we eventually go into the Umbra, and once you get in the Umbra you lose track of time in that. But yes, we view our kinfolk as people that we should protect, not as resources we should throw into a fucking forge. Yeah, I'm not angry at you. I am
You're angry at
angry at your
the problem.
the fucking Garou Nation.
I think it's time somebody stepped up and changed some minds. I
The-
really am glad you brought this to my attention.
It's a great idea.
I'm probably going to get the shit kicked out of me, but
You are.
I'd rather stand up for something that seems right than continue to let things like this continue to happen.
I think that's incredibly brave.
Listen,
Noble.
if anything, Jared's a case study in what happens when we don't treat our kinfolk correctly.
Correct.
Who's to say that Jared's the first one to do something like this? Who?
That
No, there's no way. There's
he's just
no
the
way
first.
he's the
He's
only
just the first one
person.
we know about it that's doing it on a larger scale.
To be clear, he's the first one the people in this car know about.
There.
And this is, I mean, the bureaucracy in general, but I have absolutely no doubt that this has happened many times all over the world. And frankly, some of y'all are so obsessed with the concept of honor that it was probably kept brushed under the rug and kept quiet so that people wouldn't look bad, and then nothing was learned.
The old ways are the old ways for a reason, and unfortunately, the old ways don't work anymore.
I love Guru. I love Big Brother as a whole. Big Brother is really fucking dumb sometimes.
If Jared succeeds in whatever he wants to do in unleashing that thing, I don't know how big it is. I don't know how powerful it is. But what I do know is that if news gets out that a kinfolk did something this devastating, it is not that far off before we start to see. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying it's not that far off before we start seeing a rebellion amongst the kinfolk, which will only lead to bloodshed.
Rebellion and also a hit list.
And that's as it would be a good thing, but it'd also be a really bad thing because this is that will go as well as it went for the indigenous people here when people came over from Europe with guns.
Right.
Yeah.
Because only less so because the difference in the ability to do bloodshed is higher than that.
I mean, I'm gonna be quite honest with you as far as I see it. Maybe I'm missing a few pieces, maybe I'm mistaken, but as far as I can piece together, if he succeeds in whatever he's doing, it's not only devastation for the children of Gaia, it's devastation for humanity at large. It's using a nuclear bomb to get rid of an ant problem.
So my question is, on a scale of 1 to 5, what level of what DEFCON are we looking at?
6,000.
Oh,
Not quite that big. They're not trying to dig up the literal worm.
Okay, 5,987.
1 to 5, in all seriousness, it's probably like a 7. It's bad. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it.
just not that I mean nothing by this question, but I don't usually see multiples of you work together.
We're trying something new.
I mean, it's new to me too.
Really?
Honestly,
In fairness, everything's new to you.
I was about to explain myself before you decided to try it for me. I have been for Forex for 6 years. However, I was never taught how to be one until very recently. I just flew like
So you
yesterday.
just wait, hold on. So you didn't go through your first change until a few years ago?
It works
Right.
differently for others.
Oh, okay. I
The
just assumed
person-
all of them.
the person who turned me didn't stick around.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
I mean, once I get a hold of him, I'm sure I like to believe that he had his reasons.
Oh, I'm
Until
sure.
Still waiting for the phrase "person who turned me" to fully click in this. Silver
same.
Fang's head.
Same.
to click to turn what?
I'm still waiting for the phrase "person who turned me" to click in this Silver Fang's head because werewolves are born.
Yeah.
That I'm okay, hold on. I need you to back up.
Okay.
Nope. That it works differently for every person, and let's just leave it at that for now.
Suffice it to say, I was not given an education.
Okay.
About all of this.
We have a few that are like that came to us a little later.
Yeah, that's me. So,
Well,
but
and
yes,
she pulls into the parking lot of the national forest. I know a little bit about all of you, sort of what you do, what your jobs are, and that. Beyond that, I don't know a terrible amount about you all. And I mean,
Who is
y'all
she?
isn't all of the changing breeds,
Right.
All the Jenkins, yeah.
all of the Farah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, again, join the club. It's a big
well,
one.
I hope you get the information you're looking for.
Thank you.
Oh, she will.
Good.
I mean, I keep trying to tell them that we have more pressing matters, but they keep not listening to me. So,
You
We're
flew
here
yesterday.
now, aren't we?
yes, I flew yesterday.
Then it sounds like they're doing what they can to get you up to fighting strength. Your abilities are useless if you have no idea how to use them.
Also, we can do multiple things at once. We can find out the information to save the lower Pacific United States. And we can find you can find the person who helps you become who you are and pistol whip them until they give you the information you need. These are both
Okay.
doable things.
Okay, I think you're not coming with me when that conversation is happening. No offense.
I mean, look, I'm just saying. In truth, you're probably right. Yours is not necessarily based on what you said. Yours is not necessarily the one that needs to be pistol.
Oh no,
Clover's.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother
Yeah.
bag of cats.
Sorry, I am confused. You're correct. I am confusing my
negligent
absent.
Korax.
I'm confusing my absentee father Korax figures.
To be fair, if you had a nickel, you'd have a dime, which isn't much, but it's weird
Yep.
that it happened twice.
Yeah, it's weird that it happened twice. Absolutely.
Anyway,
It has been wonderful. Here is my phone number. If you need anything, if you need updates, let me know. At some point, text me so I can text you back, so I can give you updates when it's time, because I am not going through the moon bridge next time. You can
Fair.
find your own damn way down there.
Yeah.
it's
Perfectly.
been
Awesome.
lovely. Thank you for the information. Thank you for
Yes.
the whiskey. We'll get out of
Yes.
here.
All of that.
Good luck. I don't know if we can get through to Jared, but I'm willing to try.
We're gonna give it our best effort.
What is it that the humans say? Give it the old college try.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I want to give it an actual try. I've seen what the humans get up to in college.
anyway.
It's mostly drugs and scissoring.
And how is that different from what happens in the Bitchmobile?
I have not yet scissored anybody in the bitchmobile.
I love the yet.
That's what hotel rooms are for. You don't take the random hookup back to the place that you live. You take them to a hotel like a normal person.
Carrie is just like say thank you very much. We will be in touch. Off we go. And just
Yep.
like getting moving Crystal this
Back
way.
into the sept. Yep. Oh no, I'm happily going with you.
As you enter the sept, the sept leader from afar makes eye contact with Crystal, and you see them just put two fingers and whistle. And they wave you over.
Yep. Stop.
We're getting the moon bridge ready for you. I assume that's. Is there anyone else you needed to talk to besides Katerina, or
Nope.
was that it?
That is it.
That's it. Thank you for your patience and hospitality. We appreciate it.
Give our regards to our
You-
brothers and sisters down at the Sept of the Towering Giants.
We shall. Thank you.
and some words are chanted in the old tongue. A few rites are done, and there is a glowing, shimmering silver portal.
Step through it.
Yep.
And with both parties headed back to Callisto's, one arriving much sooner than the other, that's where we're going to take our break. So remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do, and we will be back in just a few minutes.
We are back.
We're back. So some time has passed. Carrie, Crystal, the two of you were escorted to the boundary of the sept. There were no questions asked of what you found or what you uncovered. It was more pleasantries asking if you were all right, if you had any injuries, if you needed help. And then once they made sure that they didn't need to patch you up, they sent you on your way.
Perfect.
Yes, Ringtail went with Connor and Callista. That's
Yes,
right.
correct. So yeah, we get in the moon bridge. Moon bridge closes behind. We're in the Umbra. Immediately, Crystal turns around to Carrie. Listen, bitch. There are certain things I understand you're new about this stuff. There are certain things, if I am clearly not informing somebody about something regarding myself, I trust that you are not going to reveal it for me. I didn't tell her what I was because generally, when they find out I'm a Noisha, they trust me far less. They're wondering, what are my motivations for doing this? Am I just playing a big prank on them? Etc., etc., etc. I understand. We have a reputation. It is what it is. She doesn't know what I am. And she is not predisposed to think to question what I'm doing. Also, Gru just kind of think that they know better than all of us. We're fighting that reputation on a daily basis. Next time, if I don't say something about myself, and I very clearly choose not to do so in direct response, do not provide that information over my head. I would not do the same for you. Are we good? Okay.
I, I'm gonna be perfectly honest and say it's not the first time my big mouth has gotten me into trouble. Uh, I was a young, precocious kid whose mom ran a hair salon. Some people found some things out that they weren't supposed to know. And I got quite the quite the reinforcement uh about minding my own business. Um I do want to say that I would I hope I know you don't know me that well. We've only known each other for a few days.
Mhm.
But I want you to know I would never ever intentionally do that. That it was a incredibly stupid and thoughtless comment, and you have every right to be angrier than you are. Um,
It was an
I no,
you're good. It was an honest mistake, and I get that. If this is somebody else, this would be a very different conversation.
no, I understand, but I need you to understand
I get it.
that that is not in my nature. I know I don't know much about being a Korax either, but I know we kind of have a reputation. And maybe that's warranted given my big, fat, stupid mouth.
You're kind of a little bit of a grapevine from time to time. You as a group, not you specifically.
No, I mean, you're not wrong.
It's
But I want you to know sincerely, even though I talk a lot, my intention is never to harm. And like I said, I'm not even good. I'm not even good to defend myself. It was a stupid ass mistake. I should have known better.
it's
I-
fine. I mean,
I'm
it
vi-
is. We're fortunate it worked out fine so far. Whatever happens from this point, we'll deal with it.
I just
I think we handled her well enough. Just it'd be a lot easier if you would yell back, but fine. You're good.
and what would yelling back solve exactly?
Then I'm sorry, I'm used to dealing with the wolves with this situation, and if I did this with a wolf, they would be yelling back at me, and then we would be going back and forth, and then it would go one of three ways. Either A, I would end up escaping by the skin of literally the skin of my ass.
There are three outcomes, and they all start with F.
Two, it would come to a resolution where we finished yelling each other out, and some sort of agreement was on her case. Or three, remember what I said about hotels?
Yes.
It probably wouldn't be a hotel. It'd probably be whatever bush was nearby, because we wouldn't wait that long.
Yeah.
But it would be one of those three things. So in actuality, it's probably a good thing that you're not a wolf, because
Yeah.
I don't want you to try to kill me, and no offense, not into you that way.
Not taking it. Same.
But it would be easier. Now I just kind of feel bad.
No, that was not my.
I know it wasn't your intention. That's what makes it worse, bitch.
I can't even react right. Jesus. No.
I know. That's the thing. I know this isn't a manipulative play. That's what makes it all the more frustrating. You're fine. It's all good.
No,
you understand.
I mean, after Katie the player almost said last week, but has it been last week for the character? It's been like a few hours.
Right.
I mean, let me put it this way. You can't possibly be any harder on me. And I've already been on myself about why the fuck am I here? So compared to the voices in my head, you ain't shit.
Make it sound like a challenge, but fair.
Not that I'm clearly speaking, that's not a challenge.
Yeah, I know it's not. It's all good. I put a lot of effort, particularly around the guru, into cultivating a certain perception.
Understood.
Part because that's what Coyote needs me to do, and part because it's the defense mechanism against them, and part because it's just funny when they
I'm
when they very vocally turn out to have followed those assumptions to the wrong answer.
I'm sure it is.
You didn't. I know you did not know those aspects of it because you don't even know your own people, much less my people. In fact, right now, I would venture to say you probably know more about the Noisha than you do about the Korax, which, again, pistol whip. But
Yeah, but if he's pistol whipped, how are we going to get answers?
you can. I'm not going to pistol whip him in the mouth. That's what kneecaps are for. I even have a gold gun just for the situation. I'm kidding. I don't have a gold gun.
I mean,
Gold brass knuckles.
no, none of this surprises me.
Anyways,
But what I was,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, I can tell you it's driving me a little bit
You're good. Don't.
crazy. No,
You're good.
not about
No fact.
no, I know I'm
Just
good. Um, I just this is what happens when I try to figure out too much shit at once.
you're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen.
Maybe I should just
You're
stick to journals.
you are fortunate that you made that this particular mistake came with a with one of the few, probably one of the only, I'm not sure, but I don't know, maybe there's were hamsters or something, one of the few of us, few types of us that is not, quote unquote, to use the werewolves term, blessed with supernatural anger. It's cool. We've reached a new understanding. We're good. We're good.
We're good.
Okay. Let's get back so I can
Really? Because I've just
get
really
back to complaining about the guru. Because holy fucking shit.
yeah.
The levels, the utter levels of fuckery and failure.
So I mean, there's a lot of that going around. Um, and again, forgive my ignorance, but I didn't want to ask it in conversation. Um, is it normal to move groups like that?
To move septs?
Seps or whatever,
As far as
any
I know, yeah. I mean, this is getting into internal guru politics, and
politics.
like I from what I know, yes, kinfolk move septs. It happens. Guru move septs. It happens. Not so much once they get packed up because
They're a pack.
they're pack animals by nature. But kinfolk don't end up in packs. They might could become associated with packs, and they might they might end up mated. I mean, they almost always do end up mated to some guru, and then that uh, that they follow that guru around. So if the guru leaves, they leave. But usually, if it hits that point, they're not leaving because if they're mated to somebody, they're probably also in a pack,
Right.
and so on and so forth.
Just didn't know
But it
if
does happen. It's not unheard of.
I
What
just didn't
is
know if Jared was an unusual case or if that was just pretty normal, like leaving home for college. And
it happens, and certainly, yeah, when they're younger, it I would assume that it happens. Um, what is absolutely shocking to me, like jaw on the floor, like screaming into the heavens, shocking to me, is that a few things. One, that a kinfolk was going on a combat mission where a black spiral dancer was even possible of showing up, much less, well, maybe it could have just been a chance encounter, but still, that's why you don't take the 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 normal humans other than family ties person on the mission with you. Um and you find that one bonar glasswalker who knows how to drive. Um So they had that mission, that they were aware there was a moment, even a moment of conversation between a black spiral dancer and a kinfolk, and they did not institute a whole ass plan to handle that situation and monitor that situation. Um,
have monitor that situation after the fact or during the
yes.
fact.
Well, during the fact is just the fact that he was on the mission in the first place, but after the fact. So I am not a guru. You can tell I have brain cells. Um, but if I was, actually, let's just say me. I don't have any kinfolk that I know. But if I did, and I knew that there was or let's just say another Nuishikin that I knew of and was friends with, had at some point had a conversation with a Black Spiral Lancer, I would be I would have eyes on that person at all time. I would be monitoring that person. I would be having conversations with that person. I would be doing everything to make sure, because if a black spiral dancer and a kinfolk had a conversation and that kinfolk walked away from the situation, there was a reason for that. It would have taken a fraction of a second for that kinfolk to be dead otherwise. The fact that when he left to go to from Towering Giants up to Seattle, that Towering Giants elders did not tell the Seattle Seps elders about his history and reputation. Now that probably helped him in some ways, because we see what happened to him because he was related to this person.
Right.
And that's a whole problem in and of itself, because he should not be responsible for the sins of his grandfather or father, whatever it was. Um, but him having that reputation and everything, the fact that they did not inform the other sept of that is another failure. Like, there are so many institutional failures in this situation. You just want to put everybody in a row and just walk, have Callisto go full bear and just walk down, whack, 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 whack.
Uh,
It's
I mean,
mind numbing to me.
I don't again, don't understand the politics of it all, but I can see where, as the saying goes, like they drop the ball like a lot.
I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but in general, in my experience, Guru do not treat their kin with the respect they deserve.
I am.
And that's about 90% of why we are in the situation we are in now. Because nobody once stopped to think, hey, what's going on with Jared? How can we fix this situation? Instead, it was,
He
well,
slipped
he's
through.
gone to he's being angry. Can't do much with that. That's a him problem. Or I don't want to say something to somebody else because it's gonna make it's something that he doesn't want people to know. Like everybody was afraid to talk about this situation.
So if you think that the opposite if had somebody said something at any point, do you think we would be in this situation now?
I don't know, but but I think there would be at least a chance. Like you can't if nobody does something. That's not saying that doing something will fix the situation,
But there's at least a chance.
but at least you tried. And unfortunately, despite all the nice words that I said to Katerina, that was for her benefit. The odds, and I think she probably knows this, the odds that he is reachable at this point are infinitesimal. I would not be shocked if Jared Walker did not exist anymore. And that is just a body now.
A host.
And even if he does, he's probably too far gone.
Right.
I can hope. And I want to give it the shot, but this is probably gonna end with his blood on the ground. And I was trying to be as nice as I could about it, but it is all their fault as much as it is his.
I mean, I think you're probably right. I think on some level she knows whether she's ready to say it out loud or not.
He does.
But
If she
not.
didn't know, she would have pushed back more.
So, question, because again, I don't politics and so on and so forth.
Right. We are, by the way, I am assuming walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are actually getting pretty close to the set.
Yeah.
So you said it was unusual for kinfolk to be on combat missions. What?
In my experience, in my limited experience, yes, because shit, you probably don't even know necessarily what a kinfolk is at this point. A kinfolk is somebody who is part of that lineage, who is
Right.
part of a Guru lineage, but didn't become a Guru.
Gotcha.
They are as normal and fragile and breakable as any random person.
The only difference is they don't go crazy when they see a Krynos.
Right. But they have Guru lineage, they have Guru blood, DNA, call it what you want, in them. They do not lose it when Guru go Krynos, when Guru shift form into their man wolf, their
Wolf, yeah.
Lon Chaney furry form. And when Guru mate with them, it is more likely to produce another Guru.
Okay.
Those are basically the differences as
So
far as I
weird.
know.
So they carry the genes, but they are not
Correct.
present.
They're they're a carrier of the
Of the gene.
of the Guru gene, essentially.
So are combat missions normal?
I don't. In general, combat missions are a very normal thing.
Very normal. Okay.
As far as kinfolk going on them, no, because kinfolk are very breakable.
That's
And to put it, this is not the way I would assume that most Guru would put it, but it's certainly the way that I'm putting it, because the undercurrent is there. You don't put your breeding stock at risk.
right. I mean, it's blunt, but it's fair.
Because just as much as all of us who are made genetically, for lack of a better way to put it, unlike you, we're dying breeds.
Yeah.
We are becoming less and less and less because it's very rare for us to come out the way we come
Right.
out. So you don't put the thing that increases the odds that you're producing another soldier
Yeah.
in the line of fire. Also, you shouldn't do it because they're your family member or your loved one in some way, and they're probably not coming out of that situation well.
Since when has that stopped anybody? So I think I'm getting a better understanding. So Jared fragile not only in the physical sense but mental as well, and you think this is why he was so easily persuaded, so to speak?
Could be. I mean, I'll be honest. I think that Jared was a very unfortunate person who was born into a family with a very bad reputation, and he was probably treated like shit because of it.
Right.
That's
Ostracized.
going to build that is going to build a certain level of insecurities and pathos and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
I think he honestly tried to get away from that. But I think it also gave him a very an ingrained sense to want to prove himself and prove that he was not that he and his family line are not a waste. Silverfangs are very proud. Silverfangs care a lot about their families.
Right.
And I think that created when he kept bouncing from place to place because he's making bad decisions and having a few bad encounters, unfortunate encounters here and there. I wouldn't even be shocked if that Black Spiral conversation was not a random thing, and that they made that happen.
They found a weak point.
Yep. And I think that his desire to do good and his desire to redeem his family was a weakness that they preyed upon.
Right.
And they were able to do it because nobody was willing to look the other way, or no one was able to spend enough time with him to stop it.
Well, again, I wasn't born into all this, but speaking as someone human born, it's not all that different from what you're describing.
Yep. No,
The psychology is still the same.
yeah, it is. Listen, I'm not going to say that anybody else is that much better.
Oh no, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying this is going to sound strange. But in all the new stuff that I'm learning, it's comforting to know that it's
we're
comforting.
all fucked up.
It's comforting and disheartening at the same time to know that the same psychology still applies.
Yep.
And it's about this time you guys are at the portal.
Cool.
Step out.
Yep.
The mood in the cairn is quiet. There's a lot less people here than when you left a couple hours ago. But they basically you're given like a thumbs up to see if you're good. And then you are escorted out of the sept by Twin Rivers and Blossoming Dancer.
It's entirely possible that it either opportunity never came up, or B, was glossed over. But did anyone say hi to Thunder, as Callisto asked?
Oh,
that was an
both of you give me a retroactive perception alertness difficulty 6.
Okay.
Just to see if you even spot her in camp.
I think Carrie may have
1.
Okay. Crystal, you can see her just on the very edge of your vision. Carrie, you have hit a part of the sept that sort of goes over a root, so you are able to stand a couple feet taller than Crystal, and see that Black Blood is currently sitting under the bend of a large outstretched root that has come out of the ground and gone back in. Yeah. And she is just in full lupus form, laying on the ground, surrounded by other wolves who are just watching or standing guard.
She's in timeout.
okay. Carrie. Carrie Carrie doesn't know what's going on, but she has a pretty good idea, and she's fairly certain that interrupting the timeout with Callisto says hello.
Probably not a good idea.
Probably not a good idea. So she's just gonna nod as she passes and at the group in general and just continue going because it's like, you've been acknowledged. I'm not fucking up again.
Oh no, I broke one of our Korax.
So
I was already broken.
The two of you make your way back to Callisto's cabin, and it is much later than when you left. Yep. Time works funky in the Umbra. The first time you got there was probably about a 10-minute trip. It has been multiple hours this time back since you left. And you would venture to guess probably about another hour or two, depending on how long it took Connor and Callisto to really find anything out about Jared down in the Sept of the Pointing Stars. You're thinking about an hour or two before they should arrive home.
Carrie is going to reach out via totem phone. Like, so we just arrived back at So we just arrived back at the cabin. Where y'all at?
About an hour out from this hour and a half drive that it takes to get back home from the Sept.
Slowpoke.
Well,
Yeah, not all of us have magic moon bridges.
That sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem in that it is a me problem that I will break my foot off in your ass if you keep giving me shit about it.
and
Come on, you are my favorite girl.
I'm literally the only girl you know. You never even met.
You
me.
don't know that.
Name one other.
Steve.
Uh-huh.
He's a girl in Jacksonville, Florida. You don't know him.
No, he's not.
You don't know that.
I'm from Georgia. I know every girl in the tri-state area around there.
He's new.
Harry is just gonna think is just gonna say pitch in here and say, want a shovel, Crystal?
You're still my favorite girl.
Connor not like actually speaks out loud. I know more than one girl.
Yeah, because you actually met Doc.
Take that.
It could be
Crystal.
worse. I could have said you were my second favorite guru or girl.
Please
Then
tell
I just had
Callisto that she's your favorite guru. Ringtail says.
Sorry, that was a mental faux pas. I have had guru on my mind for much of the night. Oh, wait till you get home.
You've also had a couple whiskeys.
Also that.
I've got a bit of interesting information as well.
All right, we'll see you soon, second favorite girl.
The hour
There are
passes.
so many trees I could hang you from.
We're in her house.
Yep,
We are drinking her liquor.
yep.
Bitch.
Is this is this the love language of all y'all, or is it just you?
Oh, there's no one like me.
Thank Gaia.
There was, but I had to kill them because there can only be one. Like it's like
Like
the
Highlander.
Highlander of badass bitches.
The
There's a
hour
reason why
passes.
Risha don't get along with each other.
Oh yeah.
that-
Because they all have Highlander style feuds with doppelgangers? Sure, I'm here for this.
No, because can you imagine someone with this attitude interacting with someone else with this attitude for long periods of time?
Yeah, you two get to bickering and squabbling and then someone's dead.
Exactly. The problem is the feuds, they just turn into the most violent prank wars you will ever see in your life. Like, it starts with like pulling the chair out from under someone as they're going to sit down, and 3 weeks later, the Empire State Building blew up.
Yeah, it's like you just blew up a national monument. But I got that fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my best work, but it got the job done.
It's just spy versus spy.
Kind of.
Kinda. Yeah. So you all reconvene.
Stop. Were the guru that you talked to as infuriating as the ones we talked to? The one?
I don't know. Was the theme of the day abject incompetence?
Yup.
Yeah, then yes.
And complete and utter systemic failure to their kinfolk.
Correct on both counts.
I love Brother Wolf. I love Brother Wolf. I just have to
I don't.
train
I'll
them
say
out
it.
of certain things.
In fairness to the sept leader of the Pointing Star, he took over a shit show and has been doing his best to try and get everything back in order for the past 6 months.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's going to exacerbate the situation.
That happens when the head of your sept is killed and you have to suddenly get a new sept leader.
I can still put all the fucking blame on Towering Giants and the Seattle stuff, though.
The fucking Drinks the River is doing his absolute best, and I don't think there was anyone but him that got close to being as pissed as I was in that situation.
Yeah, these Guru don't seem as angry as I thought they would that their kinfolk were missing.
That's because the Guru don't care about their kinfolk enough.
Like, I get that they're just normal flesh baggy humans, but like, they're still important.
They're vital to our continued existence.
I was gonna say you don't get pups if you don't have kin. I mean, you do, but they're a. I will stop talking about the wolves now.
No, you're good.
Here,
Also,
point made.
they're family members.
Yeah.
Like
I said at the sept, if a Garal kinfolk in an area had gone missing for 2 days, we would be on that shit.
Yep. This is so what we know. Since we'll go first because we've got yours is the most recent information.
Yeah.
So Jared,
I would put the 2 cents of the core accent, except that my experience has just largely been that of abandonment, so that really wouldn't help the issue one way or the other.
yeah, legit. So Jared is the descendant of fucking Silverfang Voldemort.
Yeah, I figured that one out over the course of conversations as well.
And turns out, to no surprise, especially among the Silverfangs, if you are descended from somebody whose name and deeds and ability to even change form has been stripped away, you have kind of a stink around you. So you can imagine how well that.
And I'm sure the Silverfang think they can actually smell it.
So he was treated like shit from Nerds, as we can tell. Granted, this is third-hand information because it's being delivered from Katarina, who got the information from Jared, who is probably skewed on the matter.
Almost certainly skewed on the matter.
But
given the size of
also,
the
let's be honest, yeah,
None of that sounds implausible.
none of it all tracks.
Yeah.
So then he went up to Seattle to start anew. This is where it gets really good. Near as I can tell, and some of this is speculation on my part, had a mighty urge to prove himself and prove that either he or his family, or maybe even his grandfather, were not complete wastes.
As
And
one might be expected to have.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it's been driven in that you are a piece of shit your entire life. Managed to convince them to go out to allow him to go out on missions.
That's a stretch, but all right.
Oh, it gets better.
According to Katarina, he was not, at least this last one. This is the only one we got any heavy detail on, because I feel like if I kept getting more bad information, I might actually lose my cool. Um, the most recent one, he was just doing. He was the driver.
I mean, that's
Somehow,
more reasonable.
He
it's a
was
little more reasonable. Yes, I. This is purely speculation and guesswork on my part, but I would suspect that he was not just the driver in all these situations.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe he was. Maybe they were. Maybe these were the. Maybe he was doing the undercover kind of stuff that kinfolk kind of do. I don't know. But anyways, somehow being just the driver, he ended up face to face with the Black Spiral Dancer.
And lived.
Apparently, there was a conversation that was had that nobody
And-
knows what that conversation was.
But they knew that it happened
But they knew that it happened and
and
not
didn't
only
do anything about it.
and didn't do any single fucking thing about it.
and apparently it wasn't, you know, paint wasn't even dry before Jared turned a complete 180 after that.
It was a matter of months.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
it was just a matter of months before he went down to pointing star. Now I don't know. I did not push this issue to be certain. I don't know. It seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, Carrie, that people in this set knew about this situation.
I got the feeling
It was
like
either that or it was just Katarina, but I feel
I
like
I got the vibe, I got the feeling that a lot was being swept under the rug.
mhm,
As long as we can't see it, then it's not a problem. It's a later problem. It's not a now problem.
agreed.
So
man, if only they'd had that kind of negligence when it came to the girl.
so that's the vibe that I got, is that we'll handle it in our own time, but that time is not right now. And the time that it is indeterminate. Like they didn't see it as
But by the same, they did, yeah,
as noteworthy. Not unnoteworthy, but
not an immediate problem.
yeah, not an
Something that
immediate.
they could push out. The problem being that when he decided to head down to Pointing Star, nobody thought to, just like, let's Thundering Giants is not free of blame here, besides just the treating Jared like shit thing. Just like Thundering Giants did not tell anybody up in Seattle about this situation, except up in Seattle, did not tell anyone at Pointing Star about this situation with the fucking Black Spiral Dancer. Like I'm sure Pointing Star has plenty of fucked up, horrible things that they've did and buried under the rug, but honestly, they seem to be the most in the clear about this situation because they had no idea what shit show was being dropped at their doorstep.
It's
They had no idea, but they did actively note that he hadn't been seen for a couple of weeks and did nothing about it.
Okay, well, there's a failure.
there's
Not as bad as the other failures, but that's still a failure.
I'm
Honestly, I was beginning to get the feeling that maybe someone had put a fucking glamour on everyone because everyone seemed surprised when I said that he hadn't been seen in a couple of weeks and then checked their records and confirmed it.
No, they're just that stupid. And here's the fun part. Should we inform them of much more, you know they will rush in to try and deal with this situation.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Because they will know best.
So, important fucking details from my end. Whatever was going on in his head, at some point down the line, during his time at Pointing Star, he didn't talk to a lot of people, hardly anybody, with the exception being a theurge by the name of Judge's Reign.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception being a theurge by the name of Judge's Reign, whom he tried to get to teach him how to speak to spirits. Judge's Reign didn't teach him that.
At least somebody had some sense.
I'm kind of debating now, knowing what I know, whether or not it might have helped. But
yeah. At that point, it probably wouldn't have been a good idea. Probably they did the right thing because by this point he'd already had a conversation with a fucking black spiral dancer.
yeah,
This is really big. Like big. Like very big. Ringtail slides off the couch and starts walking towards the door.
Ringtail,
Buddy,
where are you going? You're our pack spirit.
I know. I need to have some conversations.
with who there, buddy?
Well, I plan on telling Possum, and then Possum can deliver it to a few people, and then from there, everybody will know.
Everybody will know what exactly.
Okay.
On the
What?
spirit side, we'll know that there's a storm coming.
That's the spirits need to know this shit. Like the Gru and
Spirit side
need to be
needs to know there's
fucking
trouble
aware.
brewing, yes.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point. I think
I'm concerned if what's to stop a spirit from then telling the wolves? Because the wolves have pack totems too.
They're not, because the spirits are actually smart. I mean, okay, some of them are kind of dumb, but like,
Frankly, I don't think Madam Web would let the spirits tell the wolves.
Ringtail, can you give them the heads up to keep this on the DL for the?
Oh
for
yeah,
the Gru?
if I tell Possum this is a secret, that's how she'll phrase it.
Okay. Then I'm comfortable with that. Personally, I think we've done a lot. We've uncovered a lot, and
Oh, we're being
certainly-
watched, by the way.
by
When I was returning from the Sept, there was a buzzard on my hood.
Oh,
It's dead now.
what does that mean?
a bad you.
A buzzard is like a black spiral dancer for the Korax.
Okay, my blood just ran cold.
We've got a lot of good information. We've got I think we need to moving forward as much as we can. But if something happens to us, we need to tell our.
Yeah, Doc's coming by tomorrow, so I can give him a debrief.
We need to tell Doc. We need to tell everybody, those people, because they need to know in case something happens to us. And I'm not assuming, and I'm not saying that this will happen, And I'm not saying we can't handle it if it does. But if this information got back to certain silver fangs, I would not doubt that we would be in danger.
Is there somebody I need to tell?
No.
I can
I
get
wouldn't
Hell-
tell one.
Thomas.
I wouldn't tell One Wing. One Wing could not keep a secret.
That's
And
fair.
Doc can give the information to
Yeah, Doc can
everybody
give the information
else.
to Madam Web, and Madam Web will figure out who needs to know.
Who
correct.
needs to know?
Madam Web's
Okay.
good at that.
I think we should be very careful where we go. And I don't think we should be necessarily going alone in any situation.
Yeah, they're surveilling us, and if that buzzard had run into anyone but me, it might have gotten away.
Mhm. Not, and again, not just that. Not just those guys. 'Cause
So
we're gonna make the Silver Fangs look real fucking bad.
Somehow, I feel like that'll actually improve Thunder's day.
Oh well, yeah, that's a whole other mess because we're gonna make the Silver Fangs look bad, which the Shadow Lords are gonna love, and
so on
Thunder's
the
get at Fenris, right?
Black Fury.
Black Fury. Oh yeah, no, she'll be real happy about that.
so on the other hand, for something completely different, I still have an invitation for drinks with our source.
yes,
I mean,
you
it's
do.
still this evening if you wanted to go out.
I'll
Only
text
been
you
a
back.
couple of hours since you left.
So, what exactly do you text to Donovan?
Donovan, I'm glad you said his name because I fucking forgot. Um, uh, she is going to text. Hey, are drinks still on the table?
There's about a 5-minute wait, but you do get back. Yeah. Do you need your friend to come along again?
Um, might bring another friend. She's working a late shift. But I might bring another friend with me just for make sure I'm driving safely.
All right. Um, you get back. It's about 6 o'clock right now. Drinks at 7:30.
Same place.
How about we go back to Kadaiko?
Okay. I'll see you there.
No response back.
Granted.
Do you share that text thread?
Yep.
That's a bit more reserved than his last attempt to reach out to you.
A little bit.
I'll also note that Kadaiko is the place where we saw all of the Endron agents before.
Also true.
Be on the lookout for a trap. I feel like that doesn't need to be said.
Yeah, I've pretty much deduced that, yeah.
Who you want with you?
Who do you think is best?
Let's see, I was there last time.
But Callisto's been there before too.
Callisto and Clover were there the time before.
However, I was there without being associated to her.
That's true. So that may be a smart idea.
To keep you disassociated, to be clear. And
Yeah.
have you be there and elsewhere.
In the same
Right.
vicinity.
I mean, I'm not. We think this is a trap.
I think it might be. I don't know that it is.
I agree with you. I think it very well might be, but it's hard to say for sure.
I mean, honestly, with my track record, any meeting with guys at a bar could be a trap.
I mean, yeah, that's excluding the normal
I mean-
human reasons it could be a trap. Yes.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that's not just your track record. That based on mankind's track record, it could well be a trap.
I'm just saying Carrie's just saying she's not ignorant to the fact that
Yeah, there are mundane
There-
reasons this could be a
that-
problem too. Yeah.
that there are both mundane and or supernatural reasons this could be a trap.
If it's a mundane reason, well, it's a
He
piece of
fucked
cake.
up real bad.
Yeah, he picked the wrong.
You picked the wrong bitch.
If it's the other, he also fucked up.
Callisto, while this conversation is happening, your phone buzzes. There is a
Okay.
text from an unknown number, and that is what the number reads: is unknown number, and it is just a picture of you swinging your axe and cutting off the head of the buzzard, and that is where we're going to end for the week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.